This is 3 more Warhammer factions and their historical equivalents, part 4. Let's go! First up, it's the new army in the old world, the Grand Cathay. They are based on Imperial China, the Han, Ming, and Song dynasties all mashed up into one. Cathay was also the medieval European name for China, so it was right there in front of us this whole time. Like Imperial China, the Grand Cathay love jade and dragons, except the Grand Cathay's dragons are real, and they're also their immortal god emperors. They trade with the Empire and other armies on the Ivory Road, also known as the Silk Road, which is real. But the real Silk Road should really be called the Silk Routes, because it wasn't just one route from A to B, but rather a great network of trade routes. It didn't just trade silk either, but everything from camels, horses, honey, gunpowder, jade, gold, wine, you name it, it could be found on the routes. Grand Cathay also built the Grand Bastion to keep chaos out and protect their empire and protect the Ivory Road, exactly like China did with the Great Walls. The first was built in around 700 BC, but the bits you'll recognise today were built by the Ming Dynasty between 13 to 1600 AD. Grand Cathay's terracotta giants are inspired by the terracotta warriors that were made to guard the tomb of China's first emperor, which has never been opened to this day because apparently it's booby-trapped, and no one wants to risk it. Our next army, the Ogre Kingdoms. Their nomadic lifestyle, top knots, and bothering people on the Ivory Road, it can only be another representation of the warriors of the steppe. The Mongols were accomplished horsemen, able to fight and shoot from the back of a moving horse. But as the ogres are so much larger, they have to ride megafauna, based on mammoths and woolly rhinos. And the ogres fight with stone weapons. So basically, if Genghis Khan was 8 foot tall, fought with Stone Age weaponry, and rode an Ice Age animal, you'd have the ogres. Lastly, by popular vote, it's the vampire counts. Based on Romanian vampire culture, the counts live in Sylvania. Sylvania is based on Transylvania, a region in modern-day Romania. With the leader of one of the prominent vampire families called Vlad von Carstein, he was based on Count Dracula. But Count Dracula isn't real, but Count Dracula is then based on Vlad the Impaler, who did exist. His real name was Vladislav III Dracula, which actually means son of the dragon, because his father was known as Vlad Dracul, which means of the dragon, which is way cool. Now on to the impaling part. Vlad lived in the Principality of Wallachia, and after having his land taken from him by his cousins in neighbouring Hungary, he eventually defeated them, and to act as a deterrent, he put all the bodies of his enemies along the roadside, impaled on stakes. Yeah, that'll work. The reason he became entwined with vampire legend was because of Bram Stoker's Count Dracula. But Bram apparently didn't know much about Vlad, but he knew a lot about Romanian folklore's blood-sucking vampires, and maybe he just thought Dracula was a cool name. Much better than his working title, Count Wampire. Sounds like the Count from Sesame Street. And that was 3 more Warhammer armies and their historical equivalents. What should I do next? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, I'll see you in the past.